All right, let's look at part B. We are given the equation in the form of y squared minus 16x squared plus 64x minus 208 equals 0. This is not the standard form. So our first task is the completion the square, okay? So we're going to have, well, we have y squared already here, and we have the x squared related terms here, okay? So I don't need to do anything with y squared term, but for the x squared term, so we're going to have that copied right here. And the first thing is first, I'm going to factor out the coefficient of x squared. And that's minus 4. Okay. X, right? So now I'm going to get the half of this coefficient. So let's just write here. And I'm going to add it to x and take the quantity square of that. And I'm going to compensate that by the square of the constant term. So that's going to be minus 4. So that takes care of the whole completion the square. So here we go. I have y squared minus, let me use a different color. Plus 64 minus 208 equals 0. Okay. So that I have y squared minus 16, x minus 2 squared, and that's negative 144. So these adds up to negative 144. So I'm going to add 144 to both sides of the equation. So here we go. I got 144. Okay. To be able to get down to the standard form, we have to make the right-hand side 1. So we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 144. Okay. All right. Since we're done with the completion square, so I can just continue from here. So I have y squared divided by 12 squared, because 144 is 12 squared, minus I think we can simplify this. So because 144 is divisible by 16, and you have just 9 here. So then I can write this as x minus 2 squared over 9 squared, and the right-hand side is just 1. Okay. I can also replace the y squared term by y minus 0 squared. Okay. All right. So as like in the previous case, y term comes before the x term, so that's the positive term. So that matches well with the case where you have the transverse axis to be vertical, okay? Like in the second case here. So why don't we go ahead and grab the location of the center, H and K, A and B. So let's just write them down. So we have A to be exactly equal to 12. And B is 9. Okay. H is this guy here. Okay, and then K is this guy here, right? So H is 2 and K equals 0. Okay. Go ahead and find C out of this relationship, a squared plus b squared. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Okay. That takes you to, in fact, b squared is 9, I'm sorry. Oh, I made a mistake here, by the way. I'm sorry. This should be like 3 squared, right? Because that's 9 already, so then b equals 3. And this is 9. I'm sure like you caught that mistake when I was doing this. And you were like, oh, there's a mistake. Now I caught it. Here we go. I'm not going to cut this part out of the video. So we're human beings and we make mistakes sometimes. And as you see, I made one, but I was able to catch that. Okay. So that is 153. So C becomes radical 153. Okay. So I don't need this part anymore. Let me just get this out of the way. Okay. So now I have the center coming with the coordinates h and k. That is 2 and 0. And as I told you earlier, by the way, so we're in the case that transverse axis is vertical. Okay, so I'm just go back and write as here that we have vertical transverse axis. Okay. So therefore, center, foci, and the vertices are all lined up in the y direction. Okay. So go ahead and write down the coordinates of the vertices, and these are a units apart from the center in the y direction. Okay. So since the center is coming with the y coordinate 0, I'm going to add and subtract 12 out of that. Okay. So 2, 12, and 2, negative 12 are the coordinates of the vertices. How about the foci? And foci are c units apart from the center. Okay, and c is radical 153. So I'm going to add radical 153 and subtract radical 153 from the y coordinate over there. So that is, so these are the locations of, or coordinates of foci. And eccentricity is the same formula as in the ellipse case, so E equals C over A. So 153, radical 153 divided by 12. Okay. We're almost done, except the asymptotes, right? Let's go back to the asymptotes. When we have a vertical transverse axis, these are the formulas for asymptotes. So k plus a over b x minus h, and k minus a over b x minus h. So k plus, let me just write this down. K plus a over b x minus h. So let me just, so this is y equals, right? All right. Let me just double check. A over b, okay. K plus minus, right? So I should have plus minus, which is exactly what I have here. If I add the minus sign here. Okay. So k equals 0. K equals 0. So I have y equals plus minus a over b. That's 12 divided by 3. X minus h, so x minus 2. Okay, so that takes you to plus minus 4, x minus 2. Okay. Woohoo! This was a long question. It's plus minus 4x minus 2. These are the asymptotes. So we have everything wrapped up here, but we want to make sure that whatever we have done here matches with the plot of the hyperbola with asymptotes. So go ahead and try to see like what we have here perfectly matches with what we have in the graph. Okay, so here we go. I have the center located here, and I have 2 vertices coming with orange dots, and then you have the green dots here. So those are the locations of foci. Okay, so as you see, and asymptotes are crossing the center, and as you see that the hyperbola, the branches of hyperbola goes to infinity in the direction of or along with the asymptotes, okay? Because they both go to plus and minus infinity. The upper branch goes to infinity as x's get bigger and bigger, but they go to infinity along the asymptotes, okay? So I think that takes care of part B, and I think we're done with the whole question here, right? So again, this was a longer video. I'm sorry for that. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please send those to my way, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.